Doug Walker talks about his review of The Wall in Double Toasted interview. That sounds interesting.
What's it like when you get around to other harsher forms of criticisms? You know, like one of the videos that you got, I guess, criticized for the most was your review for Pink Floyd's The Wall. Tons of fans out there of that film.
Double Toasted, by the way. Double Toasted Interviews is the channel this was posted on, just for credit.
Of Pink Floyd fans out there. You know, that came in, and that one was where people really did go out their way to make videos critiquing you, critiquing The Wall. Here's one from here, folding ideas. They came in to review
That one was
your
brutal.
video of your critique of The Wall.
Because he's so well
Missing
spoken.
At the core is any sense of motivation. You get to the end and have
Dan.
no idea why this was the form this product should take. Why make a straight reproduction of pretty much 50% of the entire film? Why make a complete companion album? Why put this much effort into a video about a subject that you just don't seem to have any substantive opinions on at all? And why put all this effort into this concept for this specific movie?
So there's a lot of ways that people could come out and take this kind of criticism.
You just said so many mean things. No.
Well, you know, for a video like this, what a lot of people could.
That
come
was
in
so
and take it
weird.
different ways. So
I thought they cut to a clip of one of his reviews, but it was just him. It was just Doug responding in the interview.
Specific movie.
Yeah. So, Folding Ideas review of Doug's review of The Wall is a really great video, and it's my favorite one on the subject. It's very well thought out, and it actually goes into a lot of detail as to what the issues are in a very well spoken way. You can tell that the words he used aren't just ones that he instinctually used. He actually thought about what he was writing and made something that, I don't know. Anyway, just check it out.
So there's a lot of ways that people could come out and take this kind of criticism.
You just said so many mean things. No.
Well, you know, for a video like this, a lot of people could come in, they could take it different ways. So some people could come in, they could be offended. Some people could come away saying, all right, you know what, maybe I didn't have a full grasp on that subject. Some people could even come in and take it from an egotistical standpoint. Well, you know what, to hell with that guy. Hey, they're talking about me. So, you know, no matter what they're saying, it's still about me. And there's many other ways in between that to take it. How did you take this?
Well, and I think you really nailed it there too. There's so many ways you can take, and I don't know. To me, I know you can be like insulted, someone that doesn't, like the work I put out there. First of all, I've been doing this 14 years. Majority of them get praise. I mean, if I'm gonna get upset, this one really, a lot of people didn't like it. I'm so fucking lucky. I mean,
true.
This
Good outlook.
where it's like, oh no, one that people really didn't like, but no, it's kind of like what we were talking about before, where even if somebody
I'm like the only Sardonicast member that hasn't made a video trashing it, unless this counts. Will this be on the highlights channel?
like it, they're still talking about it. I mean, so I'm talking about how a review can be like its own work of art. The same way.
Oh, I love that quick cut. Oh my god.
They're still talking about it. I mean, so I'm talking about how a review
Look how
can
quick
be like
this cut
its own work of art. The same way. I mean, what that guy was saying sounded very intelligent. It sounded like he knew, had a real passion for it, enjoyed talking about. A review of a review can also be its own work of art. I mean, that's really what I want to kind of get going. Now, for me, I like the review because I know what I was talking about.
I want to hear where this goes, but that's the best thing I possibly could have imagined him saying. That's amazing.
But I don't think I made
Oh, that's also a really good reaction. Oh my god.
Very clear, because I wanted to be experimental like the film was, because I really liked the film, and I think
and it's still so confusing because you're like, because I really like the film, but it's like, So here's my theory, and I guess this will justify this video being on the highlights channel. Here's my theory as to why Doug made the wall video the way he did. And I'm good with theories. Okay, y'all remember my Nico Cavo avocado theory, right? Y'all remember my Kimba theories. Okay, I'm good with theories. Here's my theory. Doug has been posting reviews on the internet for a long time. When he invited me to talk on his channel, it was about fair use. He is, perhaps, who knows? You could call him an expert. I would say he's very familiar with the concept of fair use. And one of the qualifying factors for fair use is like its purpose, right? Its purpose and meaning. And it's a lot easier to get for a judge to understand that there is a change of meaning in the work that you're creating if it is actively critical of what you're parodying. Now, Doug didn't just release a review of The Wall. He released an entire album. There was a there was a what's the word? Corresponding when you attach things together. I'm tired. There was an album. There was an album that came companion. That's the word I was looking for. There's a companion album that went along with the review. And he released that on Spotify. He released that on major platforms. And the entire album was just same melody, same chords, like identical songs to the Wall album, in the same way that you would have like Weird Al do something, right? Now, my theory is that Doug does like The Wall, but he knew that in order for him to be able to sell the companion album, that it had to be a criticism. Not necessarily, like, again, it's not like determining factor. It's not like a single determining factor. It's like one that is considered, the variety of factors are considered. But it really helps when the creation you're making is critical of the original. If he released an album of The Wall that was just, I like The Wall and I'm changing the lyrics, then there would not be a very strong argument to make for fair use. And so that's why I believe his video is so confusing, because you can't really tell, like, there's critical things in the lyrics, but that he also says he likes it, and he says it's a love letter, but the entire time it's bashing the movie and calling it like the song's pretentious, and like, yeah, so, like, that's my theory, because there's not a lot of his. I can't think of another video where it's that confusing as to like what the fuck he was going for or what he really thinks, right? So, anyway, that's just my theory. That's what I believe. And remember, he's been doing this for a long time. He created like a bunch of different YouTube channels to get, to do his like 5-second movies thing. And, like he knows what fair use is, and he probably knows that in order to do something like create an entire album of just the same song again, that it has to serve a different purpose or meaning. And to do that, the easiest way to do it would be for it to be a criticism or parody that is poking fun at the original. But if he likes the movie and he likes the songs, you can't really do that without just sort of making up criticisms that don't really make sense. So that's kind of what I believe here. Yeah, that's my theory. Let's continue.
My whole idea was sort of comparing like experiencing that film as a young man, like I did when I was younger. I was just very, wow, this is a mind-blowing film. Holy smokes, the world's your oyster kind of thing. And then kind of as a cynical adult, like looking back, it's like, oh, what's he complaining about? God, everything's so black and white. There's literally cartoons of everything and stuff. And finding that in between where it's kind of like the pros are the cons are the pros, and to create something that's really raw and really inspiring and really fascinating, and you can read different things into it. So I think I was trying to do something along those lines with the review to also be experimental, because I liked how he experimented in that movie. But there's still people that look at it and say, I'm so angry you didn't like The Wall. I'm like, I'm sorry, the point where I look at the camera and I say, I like The Wall.
Oh my god, it's so funny. But that's why it's confusing. That's why people are confused, is because you spent How long is the review? It's like 2 hours or some shit. You spent like an hour and 59 minutes going like, the wall's fucking stupid. And then at the end you go like, oh, I liked it. Like, this is an amazing freeze frame. Holy fucking Christ. Oh my God. This is amazing.
3-all. But no, but that's still on me, because when you take a gamble, you're gonna win or you're gonna lose, and that's something
he hasn't addressed why anyone would feel confused. He kind of just says like, duh, I said I liked it, you know? Like he doesn't even address that it might have been confusing because of the way that he presented it. He just says, no, you're supposed to listen to this minute here and not the rest of it. Like, you're stupid.
but
it's only 40 minutes long. Well, it felt like 2 hours.
Say, I'm so angry you didn't like the wall. I'm like, I'm sorry, the point where I look at the camera and I say I like the wall. 3-all. but that's still on me, because when you take a gamble, you're gonna win or you're gonna lose, and that's something where, I mean, financially we won because a lot of people check it out. There's always someone saying, "Oh, watch this YouTube and hate it, this video and hate it." It's like, oh no, don't do that.
That's what Michael Goy said after my review of Megan is Missing. He was like, well, people watched it on Netflix.
Don't give us the money. but no, you want people to look at and like it and enjoy your work, and you want to try and spread ideas and joy and stuff. And that one,
keep at it, Doug. Is this a horse dildo? Is this a horse dildo in the background? Is this a My Little Pony horse dildo? Is this a blue horse dildo? What is that?
Really taken in a direction that I was not intending, but that's part of putting yourself out there. Again, there's something to being a critic. There's a line in Ratatouille. You've seen that movie. I'm just saying the Pixar movie, right? The critic has a really great speech at the end. And one of the lines that really stuck out to me, he said, we risk very little as a critic. And that always stuck out to me. And I remember that, you know, even though I love what critics do, I love talking about ideas and stuff like that, there is almost a legit point to that, because you kind of give your opinion and someone can either agree with you or disagree with you. I like the idea of putting something out there that is also a production, that I'm putting something out there that can also be reviewed. It's not something that's, oh, it's bulletproof because, you know, it's a review. No, it can also be critiqued. The visuals can be critiqued. The ideas can be critiqued. The characters, the dialogue, the music as well. So for me, for people to get that passionate and talk about it, do you hope it's something they like? Yes, but even if it's something that they're just getting so passionate and they feel it's worth talking about, that to me is elevating what reviews.
I hope he's sincere, because that's a good philosophy. I mean, if he genuinely feels that way, then that's great. That's like a really good philosophy to have. And I guess for your own mental health is what I'm gonna say.
Whether it's good art or bad art. So I personally don't take offense at something like that. I'm glad they're talking about it. I'm glad they're critiquing a critique. Like, that's, I don't know, maybe I'm a simple guy, but that's amazing to me. Like, I don't know, 14 years ago, I was living with my folks and I was doing this, I'm the nostalgia critic, and nobody knew who I was. Nobody would care.
That was a good impression, Doug.
Now when I do a video, there's other videos talking about it. And to me, that's saying, okay, reviewing has really reached a point where it is becoming like this work of art that can also be talked about. And that's more important to me than like my ego being bruised.
All right, everybody check out Double Toasted, I guess. That was a good interview. Thanks. Is it Corey? I think it's Corey from Double Toasted. I think his name's Corey. It is Corey. I think that the way that people judge whether or not someone can take criticism is actually just wrong. Because if you respond passionately about something and you passionately disagree and you have like justified reasons to back up why you disagree with something, they say you can't handle criticism. So like if somebody when people were like shitting on me for my rating of literally just rating Indiana Jones a 5 and not even posting a review of it, and I responded to that, people were like, you can't handle criticism. Like, there was no real criticism there. And people have this weird idea that if you're like angry about something, or if you type 10 paragraphs to clarify something, or like you're passionate about actually getting the information in your head out to other people in a way that they can understand. People say you can't handle criticism, but then people look at somebody. Let's just use Doug as an example, and I'm not trying to be mean, but look at somebody like Doug from Nostalgia Critic, and they go, he can handle criticism, because what he does is, oh, I don't care, but he doesn't take criticism because people have been criticizing his visuals for forever. He's never learned how to use a camera, you know? He's never learned how to like do anything decent with his audio, you know? There's so many things that he's been criticized for where he should be able to self-reflect and go, oh, yeah, this is something that I should be doing better. I'm the type of person where a good amount of criticism that comes to me, I self-reflect and I go, oh, shit, this is something I can do better, you know? So I think it's incorrect, or I would disagree, let's say. I would disagree with somebody saying, like, oh, yeah, Doug can take criticism, but people who are passionate about criticisms of their things, they cannot. Because the reason why I get fired up when I feel like I'm being unjustly criticized, especially when it's like a big wave of people doing it, acting like I fucking murdered a baby for clicking a button on IMDb or something. The reason why I get upset about it is because I do care about criticism. Like, that's why. Because it actually means something to me. Like, that's why I get upset. So, you know, if people are going to criticize... So people have criticized me for, like, mannerisms on the podcast or something. I'm like, I edit this shit, and I'm listening for, like, how many times we interrupt each other. If I interrupt the other two more, it's not by, like, a whole... It's not, like, so unnatural that it's worth being, like, Adam needs to correct his thing. Like, I'm passionate. I talk a lot, you know? There's things that I have so much to say. I'm excited to be a part of the conversation, and I believe, personally, that people who are excited to be talking about things should be the type of personalities on podcasts, you know?
Hey guys, it's August now, so it's time to update the Patreon credits. Wholesome 100 Big Chungus Lemonade Warrior, Big Weld from Robots the Animated Movie, Sir Razor, Jacob Arndt, Zachary Kane, Samjul, Chi EXE, Gothic Sith, Mandelbro, Unlucky T, Kel Hunt, Wales, Simon Meadow Valley, Bo the Doggo, Boards of Cinema, Purple Fire, Kai Butcher, Pit Inhabitant, Gabriel Herrera, Splat, Hoofy Doe, Olivia Spores, Ocean Machinery, and Malav Shah. Thanks for watching, and big thanks for 50,000 subscribers. You guys are awesome.